The engagements of the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif. Over the last week, our Prime Minister engaged with his counterparts from Qatar and Azerbaijan in telephonic conversations. Views were exchanged on the evolving regional situation and ongoing peace efforts by Pakistan to advance peace and stability through dialogue and diplomacy. The Prime Minister conveyed his best wishes to the Azerbaijan's president for the upcoming World Urban Forum. Key engagements of the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar. Firstly, the UN Secretary General's envoy for the Middle East conflict, Jean Arnaud, called on the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar during the course of this week. Mr. Arnaud conveyed the Secretary General's deep appreciation for Pakistan's diplomatic efforts aimed at promoting regional peace and stability. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister discussed the latest regional developments and highlighted Pakistan's ongoing engagements with all relevant parties to advance dialogue and de-escalation. He also expressed profound gratitude to the UN Secretary General for his consistent support and valuable contributions towards Pakistan over the years. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister has also remained actively engaged with his counterparts throughout the region and beyond in an effort to promote peace and pursue diplomatic channels, particularly with respect to the Iran-US conflict. On May 8th, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister held separate telephonic conversations with the Foreign Minister of Singapore, Vivian Balakrishnan, and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Primarily the call was for the welfare and repatriation of Pakistani and Irani seafarers aboard a vessel seized by the US authorities near Singaporean waters. The two telephone calls also included exchanges on regional developments and bilateral relations. On May 11th, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister held a telephonic conversation with Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud to discuss the evolving regional situations and matters of mutual interest. The Saudi Foreign Minister appreciated Pakistan's constructive diplomatic role and expressed support for Islamabad's efforts to promote regional peace and stability, particularly amid ongoing engagement between Iran and the United States. Both leaders also underscored the importance of safeguarding maritime security, including in the Strait of Hormuz, and agreed to maintain close coordination on regional and international developments. On May 12th, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister held a telephone conversation with Austrian Foreign Minister Beat Riesinger to exchange views on evolving regional situation. The Austrian Foreign Minister appreciated Pakistan's constructive diplomatic role, particularly in an effort to facilitate dialogue between Iran and the United States in support of regional peace and stability. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to sustained diplomatic engagement and continued facilitation of dialogue aimed at promoting peace and stability in the region and beyond, and both sides agreed to remain in contact. On the same day, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar spoke with the Chinese Foreign Minister Mr. Wang Yi to discuss recent regional developments, including Pakistan's efforts to facilitate Iran-US engagement for peace and stability. Both sides reaffirmed support for continued diplomacy, emphasized the importance of durable ceasefire and safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, and reviewed upcoming high-level exchange marking the 75th year of Pakistan-China diplomatic relations. As media coverage of this telephone conversation, some reports suggested that the Chinese side urged us to enhance the mediation efforts, implying as if Pakistan was being asked to sort of in a do more paradigm. So news coverage by some of local newspaper conveyed the same impression. I wish to place on record that such reports somewhat misrepresent the call, both in letter and in spirit. The conversation between the two foreign ministers was held in with traditional warmth and cordiality. Foreign Minister Wang Yi appreciated Pakistan's constructive mediation role and expressed full support for its efforts, and Pakistan is deeply thankful for support by China in this regard. You must have also seen our press release on the CBS reports regarding Iranian aircrafts in Pakistan. We categorically rejected the CBS News report regarding the presence of Iranian aircraft at Noor Khan Air Base, describing it as misleading, speculative, and disconnected from factual context. The aircraft in question arrived during the ceasefire period. This is very important. It arrived during the ceasefire period with the aim to support diplomatic engagement linked to Islamabad talks, including movement of diplomatic personnel, security team, and administrative staff, and it had no connection to any military contingency whatsoever. So Pakistan also reaffirmed its role as a constructive and transparent facilitator for dialogue and de-escalation, while remaining committed to regional peace, stability, and continued diplomatic engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, following a saddening and a disturbing terrorist attack on police post in Bannu, the Afghan Sharjah affair in Islamabad was summoned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to deliver a strong démarche. We issued a press release. We strongly, of course, condemned the cowardly terrorist attack on Fateh Khel police post in Bannu on 9th May, which resulted in the martyrdom of 15 police personnel and injuries to several others. A preliminary investigation supported by technical intelligence and evidence indicate that the attack was orchestrated by terrorists emanating from Afghan soil. In our démarche to the Afghan CDA, we urge the Afghan authorities to take immediate and concrete and verifiable action against the perpetrators, the terrorist groups, including those affiliated with Fitna al-Hind and Fitna al-Khawarij, ISKPA and Daesh, and so on and so forth. Pakistan reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to safeguarding national security and vowed to decisively eliminate all terrorist network facilitators and enablers threatening the country's peace and stability.